The king was gone, but his final words refused to leave the room. You are not my son. They echoed again and again inside Cade's mind. He didn't move. He couldn't. It felt like the ground beneath him had disappeared, like everything he had ever known was a lie. Slowly, he turned. His eyes found the queen. She stood there, calm, composed, too composed. Cade, she said softly, but he stepped back. No. His voice shook. No. Don't say my name. The room grew heavier. Outside the chamber doors, whispers had already begun to spread. Servants exchanged fearful glances. Guards tightened their grip on their spears. Something was wrong. Everyone could feel it. Back inside, Cade's chest rose and fell rapidly. Tell me, he said, his voice low. Dangerous. The queen said nothing, and that silence was louder than any answer. His eyes widened. You knew. It wasn't a question. It was the truth. The queen slowly looked away, and in that moment, Cade understood everything. The cold distance, the strange looks, the way the king had treated him differently. It all made sense now. You let me live alike, he whispered. Outside, the palace courtyard was no longer silent. Villagers had gathered. Fear spread like wildfire. The king is gone, someone whispered. No, something worse has happened, another replied. Guards blocked the entrance, refusing to let anyone in. But the tension was impossible to contain. Back in the chamber, Kate's voice hardened. Who am I? The queen closed her eyes briefly, as if preparing herself. There are things, she began slowly, that were never meant to be revealed. Kate stepped forward. Then reveal them. For the first time, a flicker of fear crossed the queen's face. Not fear of Cade, but fear of the truth. You are not just anyone, she said. You were brought here. The night the palace was attacked. Cade froze. His heart skipped. What attack? But before she could answer, the doors burst open. A guard rushed in, breathing heavily. My queen! The room snapped to attention. What is it? She demanded. The guard hesitated, then spoke. There is someone at the gates. Cade frowned. Who? The guard swallowed. He claims, his voice lowered, to know who the prince truly is. Silence, heavy, dangerous. Cade slowly turned toward the door, and for the first time since the king's death, something else replaced the pain in his eyes. Determination. Bring him in, because whatever truth was coming, it was no longer going to stay buried. Moments later, the stranger entered, dust covered his clothes, but his eyes were sharp, unshaken. I know who you are, the man said, and I know who you are not. The room stiffened. Years ago, the man continued, on the night of the attack, the real prince was taken. A gasp spread across the room. Kate's chest tightened. No, you were placed here instead, the man said, to protect the throne from falling into enemy hands. Kate turned to the queen. Is this true? She didn't deny it. I protected this kingdom, she said quietly. I protected you. Or you protected your power, Kate snapped. The man stepped forward again. There is more, Harp. Kate's eyes locked onto him. The real prince is alive. Silence. Heavy. Dangerous. Kate's heart pounded. Where is he? The man hesitated. Then, he's closer than you think. Kate slowly turned, looking around the room, at the guards, at the queen, at everyone. Anyone could be him. The truth he had been searching for had just become a threat. Because if the real prince was alive, then one thing was certain. The throne was no longer his. And in that moment, Prince Cade realized He was not fighting for a crown anymore. He was fighting for his identity.